Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg back with another podcast this Friday morning. I got to say, Hank, welcome back. People out there don't understand that you're laying in a hospital bed while you're ready to do a podcast. Now, this is a true sports warrior. Welcome back, Hank.
Thanks, Jim. It's been a little better, and I'll tell you, these doctors, great urologist, a really good man. This hospital that I'm at is, I'll tell you, it's second to none. That I told him it's better than Mount Sinai and Miami Beach. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough good things about it.
Now, I got to tell everybody out there, Hank, I've never heard anybody in my life say they enjoyed hospital food. But Hank told me this morning, he said, you've got to come here for lunch. This is the best food. I'm not going to make a reservation at a hospital to come eat.
I had a Western omelet. I wasn't happy with it anywhere.
Wow. Well, I hope to not have to go to the hospital, but if I do, I guess I'm going to have to go there so I get a good meal. Hank, I know you've been keeping up with sports. You had two more winners last night. I think you had Furman and Murray State.
Murray State, and I was able to watch a couple of games on television, and then we get ESPN here and ESPN2. So I'm able to see some ball games, which is good. And I hear Dick Vitale's voice or whatever. So, but they had some decent games on last night. And Gonzaga won by 20. I guess they failed to cover by a couple of points. But they're number one right now. Duke's got some problems. They've got to get Zion back because they're going to need him. But Virginia is playing well. And Virginia is a well-rounded club, and they can really defend and they can shut teams down. And so, that's what's going on there. I'll tell you, the Texas Tech team is, they've been winning and they've been scoring. They've been doing well. And they're a team that could be tough in the postseason. So then you go to the conference tournaments are coming up next week.
Yeah, they start on the 4th, I think, in smaller conferences, and they'll ramp up.
One thing I do want to mention, the Fountain of Youth is Saturday at Gulfstream, and they've got they've got some $150,000 stakes races on the undercard, some grade 3s. There is a grade 2 that looks pretty one-sided with a lone speed horse who's very good. But the Fountain of Youth is, you got a lot of unknowns with horses that are getting their first major stakes races or second. And Bill Mott has a horse who is one to watch. He's one to watch for the long haul. He had a 104 buyer in his first race, which was run in a sloppy track. And I'll tell you a little story about him. The guys from Ascot were here, and they were up in Palm Meadows watching a workout. And this horse came out, and the Rosario was on him for the work, Vermont. And this is the same outfit who owned Arrogate. So, and they're very high on this horse. And he's going to, you don't know because he ran the slop, if he was just like the slop, or if he's that good. They'll find out tomorrow. And he's the number 7 horse in the race. And Rosario will ride him. And if he has a big-time performance, he will be one of the Derby favorites with a couple of months out before the Kentucky Derby. But and there's another horse who's trained by a guy who retired from training, a guy named Stan Huff, and he's run twice now. This is his first stakes race. And the guys from Mascot told me that he made a very impressive appearance in training. And Huff is in this race. His horse is in the race, too. And Stanley Huff, he retired from training, and he became he played poker in the old poker tournaments. And he got back into training. And he's a very sharp guy. This is the horse's first stakes race. Very curious to see how he's going to run. So, but there are a half a dozen horses who, I want to see what they do here. Dale Romans has a horse who can close, and he's always a danger in a race like that. But it's a mile and a 16th, so the outside post is not an advantage. So this is a very, what I would call a curiosity race to see how these horses do. There's some horses who are in from Kentucky, some who are in from New York, that's, we'll see. I gave out a superfecta on our service, and give us a call, and I'm pretty good in these races. We'll see what happens.
That's right. Just go to jimfeist.com, pick up Hank's basketball and horse plays, and we got some football this weekend too, Hank. Have you taken a look at the AA?
You know what? I haven't even seen the schedule yet for the football. I'll be honest with you. I haven't had, I've been really tied up here, right? But I will have football by the time the game. By the way, the time tomorrow comes around.
Okay. Any games that you want to talk about that are on the schedule for tomorrow, or haven't?
You know what? I don't have the schedule with me. All my research stuff is at home, and I don't have access to it.
Okay.
I don't know who's playing who Saturday. This is a time when teams are getting ready for their conference tournaments. I can tell you this. North Carolina State has been playing well. They got beat the other day, but they're playing well. They won a bunch of races in a row. Coach Hamilton has a team ready. That's North Carolina State. I'll tell you a team I don't trust is Clemson. But Louisville is, their defense is good. They tend to play low-scoring games. But the ACC tournament is going to be interesting. Miami has won a couple of games. They're capable of scoring. They haven't had a bad couple of weeks. But he lost a couple of guys during the course of the season. Really has hurt them. Kansas State was disappointing the other night. Dean Wade had a bad shooting game. They need him to shoot well, or it's not going to happen for them. And Kansas has come on. They're pretty good right now. Auburn has been up and down. When they're on their shooting game, they can be tough. But there's some really good games out of the Southwest. Texas, they're competitive, and out west, Gonzaga is good, and they can cover the big numbers in a lot of instances. They deserve the number one ranking right now because they beat them. They've beaten the top team early in the year.
Yeah, they have. They're very good. Nevada's very good as well. Kentucky plays Tennessee on Saturday. That's a big marquee matchup. Tennessee's fallen on hard times, and of course they got blasted by Kentucky a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Kentucky is a team that right now is, they're young, but they're good. and they're a team to watch. There are a couple other teams right now in that conference that that have been playing very strong in the last month, that have come on that are capable of knocking. A couple of them are capable of knocking off Kentucky. So, and one of them already did. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, this is going to be
Revenge is sweet for Calipari.
Well, yeah, it is. But this is Tennessee that's got the revenge in this one. But it's you got some teams that, like Michigan State's going to visit Indiana. Michigan State just knocked off Michigan. Of course, Michigan bounced back last night with a big win. Villanova's been struggling, defending national champs. They beat Marquette the other night by 6. That game was a lot closer than that. It was right down to the end. Marquette could have beaten them. They've been struggling pretty badly. The shooting game has been off, but that was a home game. They did come out on top. They did cover, so that's important.
Well, since Nick Ford got hurt, Michigan State has had some difficulties. But then, if you noticed last week, Izzo is getting his tournament shoes on, and so you got to watch out for them. Indiana's kind of up and down. The Big Ten is, I don't think they're that strong this year.
Well, you get Michigan.
I'll tell you, Michigan looked good last night. They were on a roll.
I was really disappointed in the way Michigan played the second half against Michigan State the other night, and they lost at home. They were up 6 in the second half, and then couldn't throw the ball into the ocean from a boat. It was Beeline is really a great coach, and I was kind of shocked at the way everybody has a bad day now and then. And Michigan State playing without a couple players, 2 of their top scorers, they went in there and won. That's very impressive. Izzo's a good coach.
You know what? I said that I had made a comment about Izzo that I used to play a lot of golf with him when he was in Florida, and I said he could even teach me to improve. He could knock a couple of strokes off my golf game, and I went against him, and he beat me. and I said I had to apologize. I'll never go against him again. And this is the time of year when he's really coaching him up. The guy who had been hurt, who broke his hand, they missed him on both sides of the floor. But Michigan, I noticed that Harbaugh was sitting a couple of seats away from Beeline. I don't know if he was giving him any tips or not, but they interviewed him on the telecast. But he and Beeline are pretty close. So Beeline, he coached them, and they got the big lead and never looked back. And when they're on their game, they're tough to beat.
That's right. Hank, I'll tell everybody, go to jimfeist.com. Your plays are up there for tonight. Tomorrow, we'll have the horses up as well. And Hank, get yourself well, get yourself home. You're going home today, correct?
That's what they tell me, if everything looks good.
No, that's good. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed for that. If you need me, call me, Hank, and otherwise I'll talk to you on Monday.
Okay, you take care of yourself, Jim, and it's good to be back on board.
Thanks, Hank. Appreciate it.